So, Julian, good to see you today. Thanks for coming down.
Pleasure. Thanks for having us here. Really keen to explore what more we can do around data management.
Yeah, sounds brilliant. So for people who are thinking, what is database management? Could you give us a high-level overview of what a database management service would be?
All customers, to a greater or lesser degree, are absolutely dependent on their databases. In terms of performance management of the databases, it's what's underpinning the business applications for those businesses, what they're either manufacturing or the services that they're delivering. So that inherent need for availability, performance management is really key from a service management point of view, making sure that you've got the right level of control around those databases, the right processes in place to trap any issues and so on. It's really vital, and it's actually, over the years it's become quite an easy service to outsource because it's quite narrow in focus, and you can really get some good quality monitoring tools in to really drive the performance out of the databases.
Yeah, get them optimized.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What would you say are the key trends in database management?
We're seeing at the moment lots and lots of drive towards modernisation. I think we see that across all aspects of IT. Customers really working out where their systems are best located and whether they need to have their systems within private infrastructure, and that certainly suits certain types of applications and certain types of data, or equally, whether a lot of those applications can either be modernized or new applications which are more cloud native, which is driving a lot of the customers towards some private infrastructure, and they've got their arms around key applications. But equally, they've got a lot of applications now which have either been redeveloped and refactored and moving across into public cloud environments, or the new applications which are being deployed typically tend to be more cloud-centric. We're naturally seeing that move for customers towards more of a modernized environment and working across that hybrid type environment. So that naturally kind of steers customers towards looking towards opportunities for consolidation, and that presents an opportunity as this kind of modernization piece is running through to really consolidate some of those systems down, get them into a more manageable state and more cost control around it as well. So for us, we see this big drive towards modernization, but equally that opportunity for consolidation as well. And finally, I'd say more and more we're seeing customers looking towards having centralized systems so that they've got a really good opportunity for deriving the value out of the data as well through getting good quality analytics out of the systems, creating a modern data platform so that they can then get the required level of business intelligence in the system.
Yeah, certainly. If we've got all this data sat here, and often companies just leave that sat there in a database, not doing anything, where you put that analytical layer over the top of it, and it'd be getting real business processes out of it then.
It's been quite a separate area of IT. I think in the past it's more of a functional skill set rather than a technical skill set. However, now with the advent of a lot of the Azure tooling, for example, customers are deploying systems into Azure, but there's that wonderful kind of opportunity then to use some of those Azure tools, which naturally move you towards analytics through some of the capabilities within Azure, and that knits together really well with that whole kind of data platform and data management piece. So what we're seeing is, to answer your question, is around that modernization piece, consolidation, but then equally kind of centralization of the data within a data platform to then really drive out that analytics.
And that modernization piece, is that often driven by companies having a cloud strategy, and they've got on-prem database services that wouldn't fit into a cloud-first strategy, so they look to modernize it, change it, so then it would fit into a cloud environment a lot better.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think all customers that we're talking to now, they would all profess to have a cloud strategy. I think it's such a key part of kind of the board agenda to really kind of future-proof their systems and their business and so on. The reality is that when you get under the skin of a lot of the systems, a lot of the applications aren't necessarily ready to move into a cloud environment. If a customer is going to move into a public cloud environment, so whether it's Azure or AWS, there's little point usually in doing a direct lift and shift from one set of VMs into a public cloud set of VMs. You're not really gaining anything. You're not gaining any of the functionality in terms of the flexibility you can drive out the cloud platform. So what we find is that the best use case and the successful use cases around moving towards public cloud is when you're taking the application, but then you're doing the modernization piece as well. And that's when you can really start to drive the value through that public cloud model. And that's naturally why we're seeing that hybrid model, because frankly, there's some old applications, they work perfectly well, they've got loads of kind of functional specifics for that business. Well, customers don't want to kind of just give up on that, and it's too big a thing until they actually have to move it, because they're being driven by the application vendors in terms of compatibility. We will see this blend of private infrastructure, but equally moving towards a greater degree of public cloud infrastructure over time.